So this is our ninth video of chapter 6, moving towards the last topic of the chapter. This is about the absolute maxima and absolute minima. Suppose we are given a function fx is equal to x plus 2. Here you can see a function is given fx is equal to x plus 2. X is belonging to 0 to 1, which is in the closed interval. Here f dash x is not equal to 0. If I find out f dash x, it is 1, so which is not equal to 0. When it is not equal to 0, it has neither a maxima nor a minima. Means when the derivative is not equal to 0, means that the slope is not a straight line, there is no peak, there is no valley, so that means there is neither maxima nor minima. Now for this interval we have to see. For this interval, let us find f0, this becomes 2. So this is absolute minimum value, and if I put 1 in this value, it becomes 3. So this is your absolute maximum. So the difference between the previous topic which we have done of local minima, local maxima, there's the class intervals were not given, but in absolute maxima and absolute minima, the interval will also be given. So let us understand the topic by just seeing this graph first. See, this is the graph where this is being shown in the form of wave. These are 4 points A, B, C and D, and these are the values of those points of the given function. Consider the graph of this above. This is a continuous function defined on a closed interval from A to D, A to D point. At x is equal to b, you can see here at x is equal to b, there is minima. When the point is lying between the class interval, that is the minima. And here fc, at x is equal to c, this is maxima. But at x is equal to a, this fa will be the absolute maximum value. Means according to the class interval we have to see where the maximum exists. So at a we can see that this fa is the absolute maximum value. At x is equal to d, fd is the absolute minimum value. So this is the difference between the maxima and minima which we had found in the previous topic. Here according to the class interval, at these points we will be checking, and at the critical points, out of those 4-5 points, whatever we will get the answer, accordingly we will tell that the maximum and the minimum value is existing. Moving to theorem number 5. You can see into your books theorem number 5. Let f be a continuous function on an interval I is equal to a to b. Then f has the absolute minimum value and attains it at least once in I. So in between a to I, there will be at least once an absolute minimum value which will be existing. This is the theorem number 5. Now see for theorem number 6, where after you can easily get some working rules for finding out the absolute minimum and absolute maximum values. Let's read the theorem first. Let f be a differentiable function on a closed interval I, and let c be an interior point of I. Then f dash c is equal to 0 if f attains its absolute maximum value at c, and f dash c is equal to 0 if f attains its absolute minimum value at c. So between the given class interval, this I denotes the interval. There exists some point c at which f dash c means the derivative will be 0, after which at point c there will be either an absolute maximum or an absolute minimum. So in view of the above results, we have the following working rules for finding the absolute maximum and absolute minimum values of a function in a given closed interval AB. So there are few steps. If you remember these steps, you can easily find out the values of absolute minimum and absolute maximum values. Step 1. Find all the critical points of f in the interval, that is, find points x where either f dash x is equal to 0 or f is not differentiable. So first thing, we will be finding the derivative of the given function, equating it to 0 and finding all the critical points of x wherever this f dash x is equal to 0. Now taking the end points of the interval, there will be some interval also, we had already given from a to b, this is the interval. At all these points calculate the values of f. At these a and b points and all the critical points, we will be finding all the values. Then after finding out the values used in step 3, we will be identifying the maximum and the minimum values of f out of these values. This maximum value will be the absolute maximum, means the greatest value of f, and the minimum value will be the absolute minimum, yani ki least value of f. We'll do few questions over here so that it will be much more clear in your mind. So let's do from question number 5. We had done till question number 4 in the previous classes. So let's do exercise 6.5 question number 5, which says find the absolute maximum value and the absolute minimum value of the following functions in the given intervals. So the function here is x cube and the interval is -2 to 2. This is the given function. Already told, first step, find the derivative. So this is the derivative of x cube, 3x square. Second step, equating it to 0. So this becomes 3x square is equal to 0, which gives us x is equal to 0, right? And if we put this x is equal to 0, this is the critical point. These two are the extreme points of the given interval, means -2 and 2. Now the next step, substituting this value, these three values in the given function. After putting -2, I am getting here -8. Putting 0, I am getting 0. Putting a 2, I am getting here 8. So what is the maximum value and what is the minimum value? Maximum value is 8 and minimum value is -8. Hence the absolute maximum value of fx is 8 at x is equal to 2, and absolute minimum value of fx is -8, which is at x is equal to -2. So it's a very easy process. If you understand the steps, if you remember the steps, which will be remembered by you after practicing few questions, then easily you can do the question. Let's do another one. Now see, this is question number 5, fourth part. The function is x minus 1 whole square plus 3. X belongs to -3 to 1. Always first step, find the derivative. This is the derivative. Second step, equating it to 0. Equated it to 0. I am getting here x is equal to 1. Right? Now the critical points are 1. Here also it is 1 and a -3. So let us find f1 and f of -3. After putting f1, I am getting here 3, and after putting -3, I am getting here as 19. So 3 and 19. What is the minimum value and what is the maximum value? This is minimum and this is maximum. So absolute maximum value is 19 at x is equal to -3, and absolute minimum value is 3 at x is equal to 1. Let's do one more question. I am doing question number 8 of this exercise. It's a long exercise. So we'll be discussing few questions in this video and in the next video. At what points in the interval 0 to 2 pi does the function sin 2x attain its maximum value? So the function is sin 2x and this is the given interval. Always first step, find the derivative. So the derivative of sin 2x is 2 cos 2x, equating it to 0, which gives me cos 2x is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to pi by 2, 3 pi by 2. At these values cos is 0. So within this 2 pi, 4 values are there. Now the value of x becomes, this 2 is coming in the denominator, pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, 5 pi by 4 and 7 pi by 4. Now we will be checking fx at 0 at all these 3 values and of 2 pi. Fine. So we will be checking it out. f0, f of pi by 4, f0 will be 0 only. F pi by 4 means sine 2 into pi by 4, which is giving me sine pi by 2, which is 1. So it is 0, 1. Next let us see f of 3 pi by 4, getting 3 pi by 2, which is minus 1. F 5 pi by 4, getting it as 5 pi by 2, a 1 is there. 7 pi by 4, which gives me 7 pi by 2, sine of 7 pi by 2 is minus 1. F of 2 pi is 0. So the maximum value of fx will be 1 at x is equal to pi by 4 and 5 pi by 4. We were only asked for the maximum value, so we are showing here only maximum value. So no need to show the minimum value when it is not asked. Let's see question number 13. You have to finish till question number 14. Remaining we will be discussing in the next video. See question number 13. Find two numbers whose sum is 24 and whose product is as large as possible. So let us see if one number will be x, the other will be 24 minus x, as their sum is 24. Now let's see about the product. Product x into 24 minus x, so which gives me 24x minus x square. The steps remains the same. Finding out the derivative. This is the derivative, equating it to 0, which gives me x is equal to 12. Now for checking maxima or minima. Finding out the second derivative of this. Second derivative, after doing the derivative again, I am getting here minus 2, which is less than 0. When the second derivative test, means second order test, is negative, we get here maximum. So we can say that the product is maximum at x is equal to 12. So the required numbers will be, when one x is 12, other is 24 minus 12, again 12, so both numbers will be 12 and 12. Complete till question number 14 of exercise 6.5. Remaining we will be doing tomorrow in the next video. Have a good day.